The kingdom of God is all about real people living in a real world that are dealing with real struggles, real challenges, and real successes. Why not come and join Chris Boyes as he speaks with real people dealing with relevant topics each week? Come meet the guests that will inspire you as they share their stories that will give you hope and faith as you face your challenges in life.
And this is Conversations with Chris, and where we have real conversations with real people on real topics in a fast-changing world. Welcome to the very first episode, where we're going to take on topics with people who work in one of the 7 main spheres of society, being family, religion, education, media, entertainment, business, and government. Today, we're going to talk about technology and business, and I am so excited to be able to introduce my friend, Gil Hodges from Texas, Austin. Right, wonderful to have you with me today, Gil.
I'm glad to be here, Chris. Thank you so much.
Well, I know that you've worked in a whole different range of different fields in life, but the one that I'm really interested in being able to talk to you about is technology and AI. Now, what exactly do you mean by the term AI innovations, which is the name of your recent venture?
Yeah, so AI Innovators is all about looking for the people who are doing the innovation in AI technology. And so I've interviewed a few people, some very interesting people, Peter Voss being one who has, he is known, if you can Google his name, he's known for coining the phrase AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. And anyway, so that's, what I'm looking for, the innovators in this industry. And I'm super excited to, to touch base with anybody who's got something new that they want to share. And these days, that's around every single corner, every day, with the speed at which things are arriving on the AI scene anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually work in the field of technology, and I work for a very large company that works in the field of technology, and AI is very, very much on the forefront of what we're doing. Like even in the actual contract that I work in, we're actually working on, rolling that out to a power generation company. Any company can benefit from this technology.
Right.
So, in what way do you believe, as a Christian, that we can utilize this technology, and can you give me some examples of that?
Well, big time. The fact is that AI is coming unless God intervenes. God could intervene and he could take it out, but I don't suspect he's going to do that. I think it's just part of the journey that we're all on. And the fact is, it's like there's groups of people who have chosen to completely eliminate technology out of their lives and live their, the Amish and so forth are people that have chosen to, let all that go. They don't have TV, they don't have electricity, they don't have anything of that nature. The question becomes, now they make some great furniture. They do a lot of great work. I mean, their stuff is quality stuff, but at the same time, it's like, how relevant are they in the technology arena? They're not. And so if Christians want to remain relevant, we do need to step into this arena and be at the forefront. There's unfortunately quite a few people in religious realms that, when the radio came out, that was of the devil. When the TV came out, that was of the devil. When the computers came out, that was of the devil. Cell phone, that was of the devil. AI, well, it's of the devil. Well, I think we've recognized and realized that these are all simply tools that we use, and it's the people behind them that make it good or evil. It's not the element or the item itself. And so just like Christians, they abandoned politics and business and so many other arenas over the years, that now we're playing catch up and trying to become relevant again when we gave all that away to let the enemy run with it versus being in it and being an influence. Well, it's the same thing with AI. If we don't step up and step in and be an influence in this industry, then it will take on more of a side of things that as Christians we won't be very excited about. So it's like, let's get in the game. Let's get in the game and participate and do something that's going to make a difference in the AI arena?
In terms of AI, people get quite concerned about the whole technology and how it actually works. And, there are different forms of AI, like the one that I've been learning a lot about is called a language model, which is really a collection of sophisticated databases, algorithms, pre-scripted response. But I feel like we're going to evolve into something even a lot more than that. For example, some of the interviews that I've heard you do with some of the gentlemen that are actually working on AI models where you're actually talking to a person, but it's so well crafted and so well put together. Is that something that as Christians we need to be concerned about, that we don't know if we're talking to a real human or could it be an AI generated image? I've heard all kinds of conspiracy theories. I've heard all kinds of fear-based thinking, especially, as a minister of religion, you would know that eschatological viewpoints are having a big impact on AI right now, Gil. What's your response to that?
Well, I definitely say that Christians and people in general just should be aware, period, of what's coming. As Christians, I don't feel like we should fear anything. It's like if God's in control and he's all powerful, then he'll take care of it one way or another, even if we can't. If it grows to be something beyond what we can handle, if he still wants to do something about it, he will. I have 100% confidence in that. In the meantime, AI is a different animal. It is definitely a different animal. And currently right now it's just a tool. The large language models and so many of these things, it's a very powerful tool. And the thing is, if Christians don't get on board and start using it, then we're not even going to understand how to engage with it when we realize that it's in everything around us. In fact, by the end of this year, 2024, people are probably going to see AI in just about everything. And it already is in almost every tech thing that you can come across now. But what people are concerned about when they talk about AI taking over and all that, that's AGI. That's artificial general intelligence. Right now, what we've got is really artificial narrow intelligence, because what that artificial intelligence that we're all using right now, ChatGPT and a lot of these other things, it's still narrow intelligence. It does one or two things, three things, whatever, very, very well. But can it play an instrument, a real instrument? No, it has no ability to do that. Now, it can do music, obviously. They've done a lot of AI music, but it's narrow in what its focus is right now. But artificial general intelligence is going to be all about, the intelligence of a human being plus more. And it's going to be able to do everything, think everything, pretty much everything better than a human can.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, and I know a lot of people are going to freak out about this, but there's going to be a lot of people who have trouble, engaging relationally with people, building relationship. There's a lot of people out there who struggle in having strong relationships. They may even prefer to have a relationship with artificial intelligence that isn't emotional, that doesn't get moody, that, but can fake the emotions. It is only faking them, but it could fake the emotions. But when you think about it, it's kind of a little bit of a crazy thought. How many people, when dealing with somebody, fake their emotions? They may be, you and I could be having a conversation and I could say something that just ticks you off, but you're a kind person. So you're probably going to fake like it's all okay, and just, let it go, because better than to, jump in and start an argument or something. AI would probably do the same thing. And yet it's not going to have anything in the background where human beings, we got all this frustration and everything going on. It's not going to have any of that. Now, I'm not saying it's better in any way or better in that way, but because the reality is probably within the next 5 to 10 years, AI is going to be doing a ton of stuff better than any human can do. And we're going to have to prep for that.
And I feel like, at the very basic level, we need to become aware of the kind of fundamental ways in which it can help and improve. Like, the whole prompt-based type AI stuff where people are using at its most basic level, because I've been involved in information technology as a career for years. At the most basic level, it is just a form of automation, and people don't realize just how much you've already been using it when you use
Right.
Facebook, when you do internet banking. Like even back in the days when we used to have things called macros, which is still around, which is just an automated way for a spreadsheet to produce information for you that you've recorded. And a lot of the stuff that you're utilizing, I'm utilizing with ChatGPT, is just a whole bunch of very, very clever people who built a language model that's actually had so many applications for marketing. You can do your own marketing stuff up, real estate, dental practice are getting into it. I know that's one of your fields of endeavor. I was even talking to my doctor, my general practitioner, about it, and he goes, "Oh, can you look into it for me, please?" Like, it was actually really fair income, and I was like, okay, because everyone's aware, understands. So I think at the most basic level, do yourself a favor if you're listening to this and get into some training, become aware of it. Gil runs a Facebook community called AI Innovations as well, where you're doing that very thing, Gil. You're actually saying, let's demystify this for you. We've got people here who answer your questions. You've got courses people can do. So if people were to, connect in with you, or want to become involved in some of the good stuff that you're doing in your Facebook community as well, how would they be able to do that? Just find you on Facebook, just send a request. Can you just let us know how people can connect in with you?
Yeah, well, obviously I've got a spiritual background as well, and so if you just go to my profile, Gil Hodges, you'll find there the connections to AI Innovators, which is my Facebook group, and that's the one you'd want to go to if you're interested in the AI technology. The things that I'm sharing on there, there's so many other people out there that are doing a better job than I can of curating all the different information and bringing it into one spot. I'm putting some of that on there because they're doing a much better job than I could, and they've got the time to do all that research. So you're going to find podcasts on there from different people, some of mine and some of these others. But it's a rapidly changing world where literally every week and almost every day, I'll just say literally every day, there is new technology coming out. And so it doesn't mean you have to be on top of all of it. That's kind of absurd to think that unless that's your field, you're not going to want to try to stay on top of all of it, because there's just too much coming out. And it's only going to get crazier in the sense of, we've hit the hockey puck stick, where the technology is just going crazy, off the chart in how fast it's growing. And robots. They're saying that this year's the year of the robot. If you go online and just kind of Google what's going on with robots, it's pretty amazing. It's a little crazy, but for $31,000, you can order everything you need online to build your own robot. And they were demonstrating these robots online, where you actually stand behind it and you kind of control it to do what you want it to do. Teach it, so you're training it. So this is a little modified one, but you train it, you do it like 50 times. And from there, you can just let go and the robot will do it for you. It will cook your food. It will fold your clothes. It'll do the laundry. It'll make the bed, you name it, it will do it. And it's just crazy where things are going. And you take that in a year from now, you might have a situation where those robots will be out and available, and you won't even have to train them because other people have trained them. They download that information from the cloud. It's able to improvise and do those things for you. It's coming. I mean, it's already here. It's just now being fine-tuned so that, it's going to be something that anybody will be able to step into and use, potentially by the end of this year. But we really do need to be prepared that over the next 2 to 5 years, things are going to change, and it's just going to be a different world. But what you were saying earlier is about all the good things. That's what I look at. I look at all the good and wonderful, beautiful things that can come out of this. And what's the ultimate scenario? I mean, if you really took it to its ultimate and it really happened, which it's possible, is AI comes in and it treats us as parents, like it's a child, and it treats us as AI being an adult child, takes care of its parents, the human beings. And what do we have to do? Oh my goodness, we might have to actually learn how to have real relationship, how to spend time with one another, how to just be human beings rather than trying to survive, go out and work a job to get enough money to hopefully keep a roof over our heads and food on the table and all the cars running and all the stress that we as human beings are experiencing today. We all think it's just normal, but that's not normal. Stress is fear, and fear is not of God.
No. That's true. That's so true. And I think the thing that I like about the whole approach with the community AI innovators that you've launched is there's some good people in there that work in different fields and endeavors of life from different areas of life, and there's someone there who's more than likely looked into how it applies to your field or your endeavor, or how even just, mum and dad at home, even on how you can just utilize it from a very basic beginning point. There's some really good beginner level courses there. So I just love the fact that you've taken that approach that, hey, you don't have to be scared of this. There may be ways that we can help you utilize this, or even understand this, or even realize it's going to impact your career. It's going to impact your job. Work with it, understand it, educate yourself.
So important.
From the knowledge and the awareness of others of what they've got. So just on that topic, if we had a minister, someone who actually likes to put sermons together like me, and I'm going to admit right now, and I'm unashamed to do it, I've used AI to help me with some of my research, some of my writing, and it's been my word speaking because I've adjusted it, put it to the way that I would talk, okay? But I've utilized it. I've actually utilized it, and then I'll fact check it to see if it was accurate.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with the tool of AI from a chat GPT's perspective. I've done it. I've used it. Can you give us some examples from your own experience that maybe I could even benefit from learning from too? Because all I'm using right now is chat GPT. But in what ways do you think that, ministers of the gospel, or even Christians even, because, you don't have to be a minister to lead a home group. You don't have to be a minister to, what ways? Tell us, what ways do you think ministers of religion could benefit from AI, mate?
Well, I think it's absolutely fantastic because I now have the assistance that I never had before, and I've always imagined as a business owner, because I have had employees that I've been able to, hand things off to. And when I hand those things off to those employees, guess what? There's a communication. And in that communication, sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. So I have to come back and tell them how to do it in a different way. But there's things, a lot of little things I could hand off and have the assistant do. Well, ChatGPT is an enormously powerful assistant, and it's generally probably going to do a better job than most of the people I was able to hire. Now, I had some pretty good people, so that they did some really good jobs. But for instance, my latest book is called Choice, and this book I sat out and I meditated in my backyard, and I would just pick up from Father what he was wanting to share. I dictated that into a word, just dictated. So I had basically just one big long paragraph. And then I would take that paragraph, copy it, paste it into ChatGPT, and then I would tell ChatGPT to, correct for grammar and sentence structure. And then I would compare, what I had written or what I had dictated and what ChatGPT was doing, and to make sure that it stayed to what I was saying, that it didn't go off. That's how this book was written. And then, I don't know if you've listened to the audiobook, but the audiobook that I have out, so you can go out and listen, and you can get a sample of it. If you just want to hear a sample of it, go to Audible and click on it, and it'll give you a sample of it. It's all AI.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's AI. But people, even my wife, listened to the first portion that I did. She did not know that was not me. She thought it was me.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's that well done. And yes, you can have, with all the movement I do when I talk, it would be a little bit harder to do AI of me right now. But you could probably, if I wanted to, I guarantee you, I have no issue. I know that I could do this because I've seen it done. I could have an AI of me made, and it wouldn't have quite as much motion. You know, it might just move a little bit like this, but if this is all I did, if I wasn't moving any more than this, I could have an AI do exactly what I'm doing, speaking with my voice, and most people, I guarantee you, would not know the difference.
Yeah. Well, there are ways and there are ideas of how you can utilize this technology, and you've inspired me because I've been sitting on writing a book for about a year and a half now, and I've got a lot of stuff there all typed up from previous messages and I just thought there's got to be a way I can automate this where I can actually work, but still my words, but grammar's being checked, sentence structure's being checked. I mean, if you can utilize that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, my first book that I wrote, I didn't, AI wasn't around. I sent it to a friend of mine who's an editor. Well, it came back, and oftentimes I'm like, that's not what I wrote, but it was better. Generally, there were some places where I said, no, I wanted to keep my words, but ChatGPT is doing the same thing, except I felt like I was able to keep it more in line with what I wanted versus sending it off to an editor who does it. So, I mean, it's all the same.
Yep. It's going to disrupt people's lives, but I think that's the thing. The thing about disruption, and it's actually a pretty cool word. I like the word disruption. Think about how it's going to disrupt. Think about why it's going to disrupt, and just understand there are tools, there are people, there is so many things available online if you want to take advantage of it, where you can actually see how it can benefit, where you can actually educate yourself, train. They've got a whole huge section on the platform from the company I work in specifically dedicated to this, because they realize and they understand this is a game changer, folks. This is going to impact your life. This is going to impact my life, so be smart. Be smart like you. Be smart like me. Take advantage of the knowledge, the tools, the people who are already in this, who I actually believe, if I could put it like this, we're called by God to be not only someone who knows about this stuff, but can be an influencer of themselves. I think it's important to understand that. So often we saw the church as that building that you went to once a week. But no, the church is the community. It's you, it's me. And that's what Conversations with Chris is all about. It's about understanding that, find out what your voice is and understand God wants you to be an influence in that. But regardless of the voice of influence that you want to be in, AI can assist, AI can help. And you're going to find it's involved in every field of endeavor now. It's going to be literally, if you can think of it, AI's got an impact in that. So I just wanted to just share that, some closing thoughts around that area, because it doesn't need to be something people fear. It doesn't need to be something people are concerned about. Regardless of what it is, chances are someone's wrestled with the question that you've got. Someone's worked out how it can apply. Someone's worked out how it can be utilized. And I truly, truly believe that person was inspired by God. If they're a Christian, that there's a reason. I've always believed that God wanted me to work in technology. I've always believed that God wants me to work in IT. And I'm glad for that now, obviously, because we were first made aware of ChatGPT and the game changer that it was going to be, not last year, the year before. And so that's where I consider myself quite blessed, because I get to become aware of some of the stuff that's coming out. It's just such a great tool. And it's something that I really just want to encourage people. Learn about ChatGPT. Understand the term prompt engineering is just about knowing what to ask it. Right. Because half the battle is you don't even know what to ask it, Gil. So if you can understand, and that's something you guys do in the group, I've seen it, prompt engineering, where you're educating people on a very basic first step level. These are the sort of things that you can ask it. Did you know that? And I think that in itself could be empowering for anybody. You don't have to be really techie and really tech savvy or anything like that. You just have to know what to ask it. That's the key.
So can I throw out one more thing with ChatGPT? If you're a business owner, and reach out to me if you want to, but if you're a business owner or such as myself, I'm a minister, Chris, you could probably do this as well. And maybe you already have, but I've taken my books that I've written, I've taken my teachings and grabbed the transcripts out of the videos, and I've loaded that all up into ChatGPT for my PKB, which is a personal knowledge base. It's got all my stuff in one spot. Now, when I'm using ChatGPT, I can actually grab just my stuff And I've got a team, marketing team that works with me, and they have access to this too. And so they can say, how would Gil say this about this subject? So maybe about AI. What would Gil say about AI?
Wow.
And it's going to pull from my database. It's going to be and I've even also instructed it to write the way that I write, so that when it writes something, most people, in fact, probably nobody's going to know the difference whether I wrote it or whether ChatGPT wrote it. But it's coming from my heart, because that's my information, and it's putting it together for me, and it's putting it together for my team. And so it's kind of a legacy,
Wow.
that I'm able to upload all that. Now, having said all this, AI is absolutely powerful, wonderful. It's going to do a lot of things. And a lot of people are saying that AI is the most, what's the word you used? Disruptive thing to come along. It's the biggest game changer. And they say it's bigger than fire when it came to the human race. It's bigger than electricity. It's bigger than anything else that has ever come to humanity. AI is going to be that big of a disruptor. And so we, to be aware of that, but to know that we want to get on the good side of this and use it for good, and allow it to make you a better person. And then at the same time, be aware, because here in America, it's 2024, it's an election year.
Right.
I guarantee 100% there are going to be videos out where you're going to see candidates say things, do things that they never did. And it's all going to be AI fakes. And so if you have question, I'm going to encourage people on my group just to say, hey, if you see a video and you're wondering if it's real, post it here. Let us look at it. And because, and some of it's going to be past me, and I'm not even going to know, but I can still look at a lot of videos, and there's different things you can look for to see if it's fake. I had an elderly couple that sent me something asking me if I was going to invest with Elon Musk on a certain thing that he was doing. And it was a interview that Elon was doing on Fox News. So everything looks legitimate. And so you have these two guys talking about this investment opportunity. But when I looked at it, I immediately knew it was fake. I mean, it looked real. And for anybody else who doesn't know Elon's voice, they would think it was real. But if anybody listens to Elon, they know that he can't finish a sentence with, hey, well, he's all over the place. He cannot speak straight for the life of him. He's one of the worst public speakers I think there is. And yet in this video, he was just spot on, didn't stutter, didn't do any of that. I'm like, that's fake. Totally fake. It's not him. But it looks real. Everything is lip synced. It looks totally real. So we're going to have to watch out for that. We just need to be aware of those things that the nefarious people can use AI for their purposes. And just like you can use TV, you can use the computer, you can use anything for nefarious purposes. And we just need to be aware of it. Not afraid, aware.
Yeah, and that technology that you were talking about was originally called deepfake technology. And there are methods, again, there are people who have educated themselves, who know about this stuff, and do educate you and me how to detect, what to look for. Yeah. And they're the kind of things that, I just want to let people know about if you're watching this. Someone's thought of a way to work out how it's fake, or someone's thought of a way to understand the signs. There are so many ways you can educate yourself. So just to build on what Gil just said, take advantage of the fact that people have got the knowledge, like Gil. They've looked into this. They can work out why it's fake. Don't be afraid. There's always someone who can help you with something that they found, telling you about why it's fake. Yeah. So I wanted to point that out. So just to wrap up this interview and just say, AI is not going to go away. It is a game changer. It is a disruptor. Be encouraged. There are people like Gil with AI Innovations, and also the community group on Facebook, who want to educate you, who want to empower you, who want to help you to understand that it can benefit, it can equip, it can be a tool that you can use in your everyday lives. Gil, I want to thank you for this interview. I want to thank you for making this time available to us. And if you want to reach out to Gil Hodges, please contact him on Facebook. Look for AI Innovations. You can contact me. You can talk to me. I've known Gil for probably 3 years now, so I'll get you in contact with him if you're having any trouble, and he'll be able to help you with his wonderful community and his whole bunch of people and himself. Gil's always available to help everyone. Thank you so much, Gil, for being willing to talk to us today about AI and technology.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, so to conclude that, I just wanted to say thank you for watching the very first episode of Conversations with Chris, where we talk about technology and AI. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the specific fear of religion. We're going to be talking about government and politics. Yes, believe it or not, there are people who believe that they're called by God and doing a wonderful job in being a voice of influence in government. Education is something I want to talk about. Now, these are real people being called by God to not only work in these fields, but influence for the kingdom of God. God bless you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.